What's the word? So I want to create a little series for you guys about volume, volume, volume. So we're gonna look at some of the ways I use volume. Give you a little guys a little bit of background information, a little bit of insight over volume, and some of the tools that we can utilize using TradingView and other platforms. So two of the big items that I do like to use besides historical volume or these bar charts. You guys may notice that I also have these visible range or these volume profiles on the side. So we're going to take a look here today at the visible range volume profile. And we're going to also look at a standard volume profile a little later in this video. So to get this thing kicked off and this series going, I always like to start this off by reminding you guys volume is going to always be like the gas in your car. Price can be manipulated, transactions can be manipulated. Excuse me, price can be manipulated, but the transactions can't be hidden in the volume. So it is a very essential tool that we like to use in our day-to-day trading, no matter whether we're going to be scalping, day trading, or swing trading. And hopefully we can give you guys a little insight on this video. So for this first section, we just kind of want to cover the settings for you guys. We're going to be using or displaying volume, range, or a visible range volume profile. So when you first come in here, everything's going to be default. What I like to do is change my roll size to 200, and I'm going to keep the volume area the same. Generally comes at 300, or excuse me, at 30 for the roll size, but I like it a little bit more compact, like a little bit more rolls, so I can kind of get some definition in between what I'm trying to itemize and see on the chart. So we're gonna come over here in the styles, and usually these two options aren't highlighted, but we're gonna go ahead and add those on. There's gonna be the volume area high and the volume area low. You also see your POC or your point of control, which I'll give you a little bit more of a definition later in this video. Get this is going to be where 70% of the volume has been transacted, or it's going to be closer to the mean or the average price. So I also come in here and I do like to change the colors of this. So I'm going to go volume area up. We want to change that to green, volume area down. I'm going to change it to red. Just keep it simple. And then we're going to do volume area or the up volume green. And we're going to switch the down volume to red. Now, there are a couple of different options. You got a developing POC here, developing volume area, which just kind of gives you a projection of where they see these areas could be. So let's come in here, let's turn this thing on, and we can see some of the neat functions that we can use with volume profile. So you guys can see here, it marks off a pretty definitive range for us. Lets us know what areas we may want to be targeting or we may want to facilitate trade from. So this highlighted area is going to be the volume area, or it is going to be, let me make sure I got the right correct name on there for you guys. So yeah, it'll be the volume area or the value area. It's going to be where most of the volume is going to be transacted. Up above, we will have the high volume node, and below, we're going to have a low volume node. So price likes to go from HVN to LVN, from LVN to volume areas to back up to HVNs. So we can see how we have these blue lines, which were the high volume area or the HVN, and then we also had the the VAH, which is the volume area high and the volume area low. So you see how price reacted off these areas. They do come into play as some nice support and resistance zones that you guys can target or facilitate a trade on. We do have NASDAQ here, and we can see how price kind of respected or just been traveling really in this range, kind of Neanderthal and not really doing anything. We got a break into the higher volume node. And as we were saying before, it likes to travel back down to the low volume node. So we got a nice little clear rejection here. Came back in the range, bounce, came back in the range, bounce, couldn't break higher. And then we got off of CPI, we got another test of this high. We got into the volume area high, and we rejected back down to the low. So we did get some nice candles off of this point of control. So we're going to be watching this to see, how does how does price kind of react, and how does this trade end up playing out? Generally, we can see, later on in the other videos in this section, I'm going to give you guys a little bit more detail of how we actually going to be trading off of this strategy, a couple of ideas on the curvature of these volume profiles, and give us some key indications to which direction markets may go. Also identifying some things like trend direction and trend strength. So you guys stay tuned. Check out in this series. We're going to cover all things volume because it is a very necessary tool that I want you guys to add into your toolkit. So another thing I'm going to highlight real quick is the standard volume profile. We can see we can get a actual range of the, and I keep saying standard, but it's the session. So we can see what kind of happens within that session. And for anybody that's familiar with market profile, you can actually see the curvatures giving us signatures to, what to expect as far as the bears coming in, the bulls coming in, how we may want to play the trend strength, how we may actually want to facilitate our trade in areas that, could hold or break. So we got a trade kind of in play here coming up here soon. We're almost it's about midnight where I'm at. So we're getting ready to open up in London. So we should get a reaction. But as always, Nick, you guys stay tuned. Go to the next video. May release this on YouTube, but for our members, you guys keep going through the series. You guys put it on replay. Get familiar with this. It's going to be a great tool to have in your toolkit. Peace.